There are numerous haunted bridges all over Japan. Some are your standard hauntings with the ghosts of those who have died at the bridge lingering over the years, while others have more unique stories that separate them from the pack. Yet perhaps the most haunted and dangerous of all is Yagiyama Bridge in Miyagi Prefecture. Yagiyama has a long and colourful history, and it's this history that has led the bridge to where it is today. It was first built for military use in 1931, and it wasn't until much later that it was opened for general public use. It crosses a 70-metre high valley which, interestingly enough, can be translated to Mouth of the Dragon Valley. And nowadays, it can be found close to the Aoba Castle ruins, a popular sightseeing location in Miyagi. It also leads to Tohoku University and the Miyagi University of Education, meaning this comparatively small bridge sees quite a lot of daily usage now. It was completely rebuilt in 1965 to deal with the amount of new traffic going over it, and it plays an integral role in the area. Yet, that doesn't stop the many people who cross it daily for work, study, and play to perhaps sweat a little as they approach it, wondering if perhaps this time will finally be the last. Over the years, Yagiyama Bridge came to be known as a popular jumping spot for those looking to take their own lives. As these numbers continued to rise, the local government installed a 1-metre high fence hoping to deter jumpers, but it was no good. When that didn't work, they installed a 2-metre high fence, this time topped with barbed wire. This makes Yagiyama's fence the tallest of all in Japan. We no longer have official numbers for jumpers, but Twitter users have posted photos of police and the fire department dealing with people scaling the fence as recently as last year. So while it may have been successful in deterring some people, it clearly hasn't stopped everyone. But why do people choose this particular bridge? Some have actually blamed the nearby Aoba Castle ruins. They claim that numerous evil spirits lurk the castle grounds, and many of those find their way to Yagiyama Bridge. It's here that they attempt to lure people to the edge, forcing them to jump off against their own free will. This may be an attempt to explain the strange circumstances behind many of those who have jumped. According to police investigations, many of the people who jump here aren't plagued by debt or other similar problems that generally make people choose this route to end things. Many people are said to appear agitated and out of it before they go, and otherwise were living peaceful lives with few troubles. It's one of the larger mysteries surrounding Yagiyama Bridge that nobody can explain. These days, there are a wealth of ghost stories surrounding Yagiyama Bridge as well. Many claim it's the most haunted bridge in all of Japan, and it's hard to argue with that. One of the most famous ghosts at Yagiyama is the woman in white. According to one tale, a man had long avoided the bridge because he was well aware of the tales regarding it. Yet one night he was forced to cross it, and fearful, he kept his eyes on the road ahead, gripped the handlebars of his bike tightly, and sped across as fast as he safely could. Even with his eyes focused on the road ahead of him, something out the corner of his eye caught his attention, and he couldn't help but look. It was the woman in white, floating on the other side of the fence, and keeping pace with his bike. The woman seemed to motion for him to come closer, and his head grew fuzzy. He pulled over, fearful he might crash, and before he could stop himself, he found himself walking towards her. Realization of what he was about to do hit him, so the man dropped to his knees and prayed. A car passed by shortly thereafter, and the driver, noticing him on the side of the road, called out to check that he was okay. The woman in white disappeared, and the man quickly realized just how close he'd been to climbing the fence and joining her on the other side. Another famous ghost is that of a small boy, who's known to tamper with brakes as people are crossing the bridge. One couple who lived in the area claimed that as they were crossing the bridge one night, their brakes stopped. They saw a young boy on the road, beckoning them to come closer. Not that they had much of a choice because their brakes weren't working anyway. The boy smiled at them, and just as they thought they were about to crash into him, their brakes came back, only to find another car speeding towards them. It turned out to be a hearse. The couple managed to avoid it, but they'd seen enough for one night. They visited a shrine for purification the very next day, and soon heard that someone had actually died the night before in an accident on the bridge. In addition to the jumpers, it's said that traffic accidents on or near the bridge are quite numerous as well, and the small boy is to blame for many of them. Yet another famous ghost sighting at the bridge is that of a mysterious caped man. This man seems to be much older than the others, wearing a black cape and black hat with red lining resembling old military garb. It's unknown who exactly he is or where he might have come from, but people report that you can see him standing on the side of the bridge by a telephone box that doesn't exist. It's possible that stories of him have been lost over the years, and that tales of him after the war may have been common, but the details have been lost and this is all we know now. Thanks to the internet and the spread of stories regarding Yagiyama, numerous young people now visit the bridge for kimodameshi, a sort of test young people go through to see who is the bravest and who will chicken out first. These visitors claim to have heard footsteps crossing over the empty bridge, the sound of a body hitting the asphalt when no one else is around. And some even claim to have seen hands reaching out from the bridge floor, or a woman with long hair scaling the fence to jump. Others have reported a woman standing in the middle of the road who calls out, "Don't leave me." Others have even seen a small child, perhaps the same boy who likes to tamper with brakes, waving goodbye to people as they cross. The bridge itself isn't the only thing that's haunted either. There's a nearby bus stop that people also claim is haunted, and there are two types of buses that stop there: regular city buses and buses heading for the other side. If you're not paying attention and happen to get on the wrong bus, you might get lucky and another passenger will tell you, "Hey, you're on the wrong bus." Or they might not, and you'll never return again. People often reported seeing a lone woman standing at this bus stop late at night, but whenever they approached her, she vanished into thin air. Perhaps she was waiting for the other type of bus, and people kept scaring her away. Either way, this bus stop was officially closed a few years back, and although the official reason was a lack of passengers, some claim it was actually for more ghostly reasons. Seems it's hard enough to keep people alive with the nearby bridge, let alone a bus stop that ferries people unaware to the other side. Whether any of these stories are true or not, the fact remains that Yagiyama Bridge does have a long history of jumpers, and these tragedies have given the bridge a certain reputation over the years. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.